Hey gents, today we're going to take a quick look at the newest watch from Undone. They sent over the Basecamp, and as I've been wearing that field watch that I unboxed a few months ago, I've really come to like Undone. I think they're delivering great value for the price, and they also have very unique watches, which is nice. And it's similar to when I talked about those custom shoe platforms, is if you find the watch that you like, why not tweak the one thing that you really want on this? And that's what Undone does. So Undone is run out of Hong Kong by a Rolex enthusiast. He really wants, it's kind of like if somebody really loves shoes, like Jay Fitzpatrick. If somebody really loves shoes and they ran their own shoe brand, that's what you're getting with Undone watches. So this is their new Basecamp model. Let's unbox it and take a look at what we have. All right, so packaging very similar to my field watch, and all of the watches are made to order, and so they're delivered within 7 to 10 days. So this is pretty recent. And oh, what do we have here? Nice, little leather, genuine leather, but handmade. And a nice Nato strap. On the wrist, and that last sticker. Take that sticker off. All right, so what do we have here with the Undone Basecamp? We have a beautiful tool watch, vintage inspired, with some really interesting details. So first you have a hackable Seiko automatic caliber NH35 with a 41-hour power reserve, and then the date window is down here at the 4:30, which is pretty interesting. It has a dual rotating bezel, and the bezel, it looks like glass, but it's made of this Lexan polycarbonate thermoplastic, and as is the crystal, and you can see it, this domed crystal that just looks great, and it doesn't have too much reflection on it, which I've started to become a little bit more critical of in my watches. I had a Tissot that was way too reflective, and it was super distracting. It's a 40 millimeter case, but it wears pretty small because the bezel is so big and because the dial is so small. It looks and feels quite small. Lug width is 20 millimeters. It comes with the Nato strap, obviously, and then they have a quick release straps in 20 millimeter, which makes it really easy to kind of swap out. As for the hands, you have this kind of nod to the Rolex Explorer in the orange hand, and the Loom is quite readable in the dark. All the numbers light up, and so that's pretty nice. It's also super unique. You know, the bezel is clickless. You hear that? Nothing. Just a super smooth bezel, and that's really a nod to the vintage models that this really inspires, being a tool watch and not necessarily a diver. So it's interesting, but they also have the option to customize it online if you do want some indices. The Nato strap is nice. This hardware feels really solid, and the Nato weave itself feels really good. It's not quite up to what I've come to know and love as the quality of the Omega straps, but I would put this right up against any of the Hamilton Nato straps that I've used as well. So it's nicer than that like $10 or $20 Nato strap you pick up off the internet. It's closer to something that you're getting out of the box with a Hamilton watch, which comes in, you know, those are usually around what, $400 or so, and so the Nato is a very nice one. The really nice thing about Undone is, so this comes in at $295, which I think is delivering good value. You know, I would put this up against a Hamilton, which is Swiss-made parts, or Seiko 5s are a lot lower in price, but you're getting the Seiko movement with really nice materials. But the big thing with Undone is you can customize this. So if you don't like the orange Rolex Explorer hand, you can change that. If you don't like the bezel, if you want to have, you know, a 60 clicks bezel, you're able to change that. You're able to customize parts of this watch to get exactly what you want. And so if you want a black matte stainless steel casing, you can customize that too. But as for this like tool watch, vintage inspired, great looking watch with a sapphire display case back and a Seiko movement at $295, I think this is great. Now it is 50 meter water resistance, so I don't know that this becomes my,
I basically beat up my Seamaster because I know that I can put that through almost anything. 50-meter water resistance makes me a little bit uneasy, but I think it's just a great example of Undone making really cool watches, and it's one that I get great feedback from you guys that have ordered from Undone before. So the internet consensus and the kind of watch enthusiast consensus is that Undone is a pretty good brand, but from the guys that order them, I hear nothing but rave reviews, and that makes me want to continue to talk about the company. So that is the Undone Basecamp, a first look. I'll definitely have a lot of time on the wrist with this one as we head into the summer months and get a little bit more casual here. So if you have any questions about it, happy to answer down in the comments below. And until next time, gents, this is the Kavalier.